everybody. Happy Thursday. Wanted to talk about what we have planted here, started in 7B, Central Virginia, on our farm for growing this year. We have different goals this year than we did last year. Last year we were growing starting plants for the purpose of selling plant starts. We're not doing that this year. We're more focusing on the CSA, on produce, and producing enough to preserve for us throughout the entire winter. So I'm going to run through like everything that we've started. Obviously, seedlings are very high maintenance in the beginning. I understand not everybody likes to have to maintain and do the work and check on them and things like that, which is totally, understandable. But I'm going to start first with our peppers. We planted 4 varieties. Shishitos, which we really enjoy eating. The chiltepin, which is a wild pepper out west, I believe, and in the south, but very hot, very tiny pepper. The sweet nonna's Italian peppers, they're humongous, like a very large, long, orangish, yellow sweet pepper. And then the Criolla de Cocina, which has never produced well for me in years past, but this year I saved seeds from a pepper from last year, and so I'm hoping that kind of helps, because then they're already acclimated to our temps and soil and things like that. So no germination yet. I have them here on the dryer. I've been putting them out in the sun, when it's warm and stuff during the day. But they're here on the dryer because when we turn the dryer on, it gets very warm, and peppers need heat in order to germinate. I have done this many times in the years past, and it always results in good germination rates for me. I started some seeds, let's see, not yesterday, the day before. And they're here just on my little setup here in our bathroom with a grow light. This is a full spectrum grow light. I just got it off of Amazon. I think it was like $30. So not crazy expensive. This is my herb tray that I've started, and I will succession sow herbs. But we have chamomile, yarrow, dill, thyme, and cilantro. Now those are all frost hardy herbs, but again, they need light. They need a little bit of warmth to get going. And I will say also, with the chamomile and the thyme, you'd see this, should see it on the seed packet where it says surface sow. So what I did is basically just made sure the soil was really nice and moist, sprinkled the seeds on top, pressed them in, and covered it with some vermiculite. I might be a little heavy on my vermiculite here, but the vermiculite really helps because fungus gnats can't lay eggs in it, and it helps with moisture retention. So same with the German chamomile. Now I'm guessing that probably in our garden space, we will have chamomile just come up, but I like to have a lot of chamomile, and so I want to make sure we have a good crop of that. Yarrow, again, this makes a great filler flower. It is also very medicinal for the skin. It can be taken internally, but primarily I use it dried, infused in oil for skin issues. The lemon basil, this makes probably one of my favorite teas. And the other thing I forgot, I'm just realizing now, I forgot to sow tulsi, which is also another thing that I use for tea very often. I don't drink a ton of tea in the summertime, but sometimes I will make an iced tea. Lemon balm. I love lemon balm. It's like mint, it can just take over, and it has in years past. But again, we, took up all the garden space. So we'll see kind of what comes up again and goes to seed and all that, and went to seed. Genovese basil, just your standard Italian basil. And thyme, obviously, again, I had some thyme plants that were doing really good and very well established, but changing around the garden space that we had, I had to change those around. Okay, so these are my cold hardy crops. And again, these are the second succession of most of this that I have done, except for the pansies. And this is just, it's a whole row of pansies, and those pansies are actually just for our home for landscaping. Those are not to sell or do anything with. The Catskill Brussels sprouts, I have 2 rows of the DiCiccio broccoli. This is a variety that I heard of, I believe, from the More Than Farmers YouTube channel. She was saying she has really good, she's in Ohio, but I think they have similar soil that we do. And she was saying that she has really good luck with that variety of broccoli. And then rainbow chard. Again, like, we won't eat like a ton of this, but I will say if you're trying to do like a low carb wrap, you can, you know, cut it up, chop it up and freeze it. And then it's great in soups and stews. I mean, y'all, like, anything you can do in the wintertime to get more veggies into your diet is phenomenal. So it's like, even if you're making a, you know, like chicken and dumplings or something like that, like, throw some greens in there. It's so good for you. All right, so we'll go outside because I do have some stuff in our little greenhouse cabinet. And again, it's cold hardy. I typically have closed the greenhouse cabinet up at night, but it was 70 degrees yesterday. It got up to 70. It was absolutely beautiful. And last night did not get very cold at all. So let all the doggies come out here. And actually, I mean, it feels like it's still pretty warm this morning. I had to go out chasing a puppy that decided to get himself lost today. And then came to find him in our yard after like 10 minutes of searching for him. All right, some of this stuff looks a little rough, so pay no attention to this label. This whole tray is all Brussels sprouts and desperately needs water. This is a mix of, this is chard over here, and these are spinach. Again, I need to water them. I've been keeping up with it okay, but not great. Those are my Delphis down there. And again, it didn't get cold enough last night to do any damage. I've got to plant them out, but I need time, and I need to amend some garden beds because I have not had time to get my garden beds in order yet. But it's happening. Sam, I'm really behind on a lot of stuff actually for the garden, which is pretty usual. But the nice thing is, I mean, we're still technically in February, so. Those peppers, by the way, were planted 10 days ago. In my experience, peppers are a pretty hard, like 14 to 21 day germination. And it's crazy because as long as you're keeping them moist and warm, like they're not getting into temps that are under, like below 50, the general consensus is like your peppers are probably fine. The kind of the crazy thing is like, I've had it before. Oh, our rooster's out. That's great. I've had it before where it'll be like over 2 weeks, you see no sign of germination on your peppers and you just give up all hope. You're like, okay, like I'm not getting peppers. Something's wrong with the seed, something. And then it just happens to come that like you end up like getting them all germinated as long as you don't throw the seed tray away. So like I try to be really, really patient with my peppers because especially when you're starting them and it's not like, oh, you mother truckers. Our chickens keep laying eggs. Don't you try to fight me. chickens keep laying eggs like in the middle of the coop. And then it's like impossible to climb in this thing and grab the eggs. Come on. So I just found a really long stick so I don't have to crawl in there and get all nasty. And we got one rooster who's real feisty. Oh, he likes to fight. Anyways, so that said, just don't give up hope on your peppers, y'all. It's typically 21 days. It may be less, like if you're putting them on a heat mat or something like that, but they typically like to take their sweet ass time, which is one reason why I start them so early. Because again, the other thing I've found that really helps is pinching your peppers. And then after you pinch, watering in with Epsom salt has proved to be very, very helpful for production. And if you grow eggplants, they like that as well. They like a little bit of Epsom salt solution. I typically do like a 1-to-3 ratio Epsom salt to water. There you go, buddies. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish our morning chores here with the animals. But that's what we've got growing right now. And again, I need to probably do a better job of keeping things well watered, because I'm not doing such a great job of that. But we're starting to come into the time of year where I have to get really regimented about my schedule and stuff. Otherwise, too much ends up going by the wayside, and that's not good. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.